All right, Algebra 1, we are finishing up our chapter 2B right before our quiz. We have 2B.3, working with standard form down here. So we are used to working with slope-intercept form, which is y equals mx plus b. Here's our slope m, here's our y-intercept b. But now we're going to learn how to transform this into the standard form. So the standard form has our x and y on the same side of the equation. They're both on the left side. And then a and b are just the numbers in front of those variables. And then c is it's a number by itself. And we'll kind of get into it later, but this is just kind of the introduction. So we have these two graphs. One of the lines goes straight up and down, and one of the lines goes straight across. Well, we see that this line right here only intersects, it only crosses through the x-axis. It only passes through the x-axis. So the equation of this line is x equals, this should be 3, I can't count at 7 o'clock in the morning, sorry about that. This is x equals 1, 2, 3. I will change this on the notes, and you'll see it differently on your note sheet that you download to your computer. So we have x equals 3, and then if we want to write this in the standard form, what's the imaginary number in front of x? It is 1, so we have 1x plus, and then we don't see any y's, so we have 0 y's equals, and then this will be 3. And then, so on Savas, they kind of ask you a question like, what's the number that goes in front of x in the standard form? You would just say 1. What's the coefficient of y? What's the number in front of y? It'd be 0. And then the coefficient by itself on the outside would be 3 in this case, because clearly did not pass through 2. The line going horizontally just passes through the y-axis right here. So it just intersects the y-axis right here at y equals -4. It went down 4. It counted correctly this time. Notice in our equation we don't have any x's out here, so we have 0x plus 1y equals -4. So they give us this blank graph, and they want us to graph the line -3x equals 9. Well, we want to get x by itself, so we're going to divide by -3, and x equals -3, which means on the x-axis, the line is only going to pass through -3. So here's the x-axis, here's -3. Our line only passes through the x-axis. There's no y value. It's going straight up and down. This last one, or excuse me, we have two more. We start with slope-intercept form, and we want to turn it into standard form. So our original equation is here in the green. We have y equals 9x plus 3 over 8. And we want to get the x and the y on the left side, just like we have the x and the y on the left side right here. So we don't like this fraction. Let's multiply everything in the equation by 8, by the denominator of this fraction, so that we have nice whole numbers to move over. So we multiplied everything by 8. So 8 times y is 8y. 8 times 9x is 72x. And 8 times 3 over 8, the 8's just canceled. It'd be 23 times 8 is 24. 24 divided by 8 is 3. Now I can easily move over this x. So it's a positive 72x. We're going to minus 72x to both sides. And we have -72x plus 8y, because there's a positive 8y, equals 3. And now we have nice whole numbers all the way across the board. And lastly, we are still going from slope-intercept to standard form, but they don't give us a slope-intercept equation. They just give us 2 points. So from 2 points, we can find the equation of a line. First thing we do, we find the slope with our slope formula. So y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. Here's my x1, y1, x2, y2. So let's plug in what we know. y2 minus y1, 6 minus 0. x2 minus x1, 0 minus 10. That's 6 over -10. We move the negative to the top, and we simplify 6 over 10 to 3 over 5. I divided both the top and the bottom by 2. So here's my slope. And I'm going to plug my slope into the m right here, and then I'm going to plug one of these points in for the x and the y. In this case, I just picked the second point. My x is 0 and my y is 6. So in our equation, my y turned to a 6. Here's my slope, and my x turned to the x value of this point. And then we're solving for b. Anything times 0 is 0, so we just cancel it. And what does b equal? B equals 6. So we have our y-intercept, we have our slope. Here's our equation. Now let's write this slope-intercept equation in the standard form. So y equals negative 3 over 5. That was our slope. X plus 6. That was our y-intercept. And we want to move everything over to the left side. So in order to get a negative 3/5 x over, we're just going to add 3/5 x. And now we have 3 over 5x plus y equals 6. And actually, I'm just assuming that Savas doesn't want fractions. So actually, let's multiply this whole equation by 5. So we would have 3x plus 5y equals 30, and I'll fix that as well in the notes. 2 slip-ups today, my bad. But you will see the correct notes on PowerSchool.